This is Off the Court with OG. You're tuning in to show number 20, and conveniently enough for our anniversary episode, I'm here live with OG King CURT. But before we get the festivities underway, a quick shout out to our friends over at Zenni Blocks. We know you're spending countless hours in front of a screen, whether you're playing your favorite video games, streaming your favorite shows. So why not armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks virtually clear blue blockers? You see Kurt with them on, I've got them on. Throughout all of Season 5, the entire NetsGC roster will also be rocking them. There's no better way to join the crew by grabbing your own pair by visiting zenni.com/gaming. And also feel free to follow Zenni Gaming on all social media platforms. Without further ado, let's start episode 20. Kurt, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. The first time we actually doing the show together. It's been one heck of a week. A lot of stuff we're gonna get into, but first time you coming to New York from Canada. First time, second time us meeting each other. We met in Vegas, but this a heck of a draft. We done been in numerous games, so it's been a great time. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, first off, quickly, I just want to say a quick thank you to you and the entire Nets Gaming Crew staff. You really rolled out the red carpet for me. But enough about me. You mentioned the draft last weekend. Obviously, just a whirlwind of events. I kind of want to just take it back to the beginning of the day before you make the selections at 41, 46, and 49. Some people who follow along with the NBA 2K League, they think it's just a matter of, I'm just going to call in the picks, it's whatever. But there's so much more that goes into that. You're talking to AV, you're talking to marketing, PR. Talk a little bit about that process, kind of, pull that curtain back for our viewers.
Gotcha. We start out with the prospects that we feel like will help our team. And that's compiled of, thoughts from myself, shots, Doc, and of course you. We start getting our prospects together, gathering as much data as we can, statistically, personally, of course, sitting and waiting and see who's going to, make it through background checks and things of that nature. Went through multiple interviews, actually interviewed over 60 players. And that was like the first time I probably interviewed that many people, considering our situation. But after we get our reports together, numerous mock drafts internally and just continuously talking and getting a true feel for who may fit our roster this year, leads up to the big day where obviously, I sit down with Alton Bird, who's the Senior Vice President of Growth Properties. He oversees Long Island Nets and NetsGC. I involved him in the process last year. But this year, I pretty much I went solo. It was me, Kristian, and Doc and Shots gave their vital input. And we went with that process. I think it paid dividends. Right before the draft, of course, Alton asked us numerous questions about each prospect that we were looking at. PR did a total social media scrubbing of every player that we were considering. And we used, a rating system for that. We also had our own internal rating systems for how we rated players on our board. And then it was Saturday night. Wait and see who was going to get drafted. And at 41, 46, and 49, a lot goes through your mind with so much time, goes by. But I think at the end of the day, I think we did a great job in getting players that fit the NetsGC culture, which is honesty, hard work, and accountability. And I think we're going to get that out of the players that we drafted.
I couldn't agree more. And for those who maybe are lagging just a little bit behind, Nets Gaming Crew ended up taking Streets at 41. He got Game at 46. And last but certainly not least, at pick 49, the veteran Steez. there are so many people behind the scenes. You've already kind of touched on them that are involved with draft night. The one thing that kind of really, one of my more favorite moments of that night, I had quite a few, but one of my favorite moments was when you had the whole team come on Zoom right after the draft, and they got to meet all 13 people, that were part of that process. For me, it was like, it came off as super impressive, and it's the only experience I ever have. I can imagine the prospects kind of felt the same way as well. Talk a little bit about that kind of family atmosphere that you were trying to really kind of begin their career with right from day one. Like, how important is that for you?
I think it's very important. I mean, growth properties, like I said, that consists of Long Island Nets and NetsGC. It's a family-like atmosphere, and as you got to witness that your time here. And then I just want to give a shout out to, Shannon, Mariama, Pat, Hastings, Montana, Rich, Brian, Nicole, Alejandro, and Michaela. That is our full staff. Like, that is everybody. And everybody was in attendance. They were in attendance last year. They've been real supportive since we came together, and having them all be on the call at the same time, and giving a warm introduction to the 3 players that we drafted was very. It was good, and a lot of players had a great feedback about it. And if you get a chance, if you actually get a chance to watch our recap video when it come out, and then also go back and watch the stream that we did on draft day, you'll see how they responded to it. Streets, man, he's a real character, not unintentionally funny, with a charismatic charm. That's how Kristian put it. But definitely, it was a fun time. And this real family atmosphere. And that's how it is. I mean, and that's how we operate. And I'm sure they're going to really get a good feel when they get in the market.
I'm glad you mentioned the NetsGC draft party, which was presented by Zenni Gaming in partnership with WeBull. And what was cool about that stream was that our supporters they got a glimpse into the war room, which is by itself already super dope. But then simultaneously, we also gave them a peek into our friends over at BrookLAN. Just talk a little bit about that whole concept, why it was such an exciting event for us. And then, of course, kind of talk a little bit about the after draft stream where we all kind of got to introduce the team to the community for the first time.
Yes. We have a good partnership with BrookLAN that's located esports lounge, gaming, great atmosphere, great food, by the way. And we also, before I get into that part of it, we participated in a water pong tournament the night before the draft. And me and Kristian actually, we lost in the semifinals. Yeah. And it was my first time ever playing.
And our shoot around did not go well.
Did not go well. And Shannon and Shots were on the same team, and they were talking all this trash, and then they ended up getting first rounded. And we actually, made it to the semifinals of the championship bracket. Mm-hmm. Then we got beat, and we dropped to the semifinals in the losers bracket, and then we ended up losing to the eventual champion. So I don't feel bad. I'm not looking for moral victories or anything like that, but I don't feel bad losing I'd rather lose to the champ. A lot of people feel different about that, but if I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose to the team that went on to win it. But staying on track, we had the draft stream, and it was, like you said, simultaneously we were going back and forth with BrookLAN. BrookLAN is led by Alec Posey and his group, and they do a phenomenal job in running, tournaments and events over there. And we were glad we was able to set up over there, have people come out, get their Zenni glasses, watch the draft, watch me in and out of interviews, Shots in and out of interviews. It was just a great time. And then following the draft, we had our post-draft party where we had, Shots and Doc on, but Streets, he got game. Well, I guess it was Mike, a.k.a. He got game. And then Steve came on, And we just really got a chance to chop it up real quick and talk. And thank goodness that everybody had an iPhone like that. Hey, that made building the chat a whole lot easier. But definitely just a great time and a great group of guys. I know everybody talks about the honeymoon phase and everything like that, but with this group, I don't see that. I got 2 rookies that's hungry. If you get drafted in the later second round and third round, I think you really feel like you got a lot to prove. And no different than some of our later draft picks last season who came in and had a lot to prove and proved that. And I think I'm going to get the same fighting effort out of Streets and Mike. And, Steez is a veteran. Shots is a veteran. Looking forward to Doc stepping up and into a higher role. And I'm confident. And like I said, we had a great time. I've been active in the chat a little bit, and I can't wait till the guys get here.
Yeah, it should be a very exciting season 5 for NetsGC. We talked a little bit about growth properties a little bit earlier in this episode. I want to touch on the other organization that falls under that umbrella, that being the Long Island Nets, specifically because a few days ago, we were able to go out to a Long Island Nets game, but it wasn't just any ordinary trip to see a basketball game. Talk about that experience and kind of shed some light for our viewers.
Well, definitely. It was like my second time taking the Long Island Railroad. Of course, it was Kristian's first time.
Yep.
So we left from Atlantic Terminal, got to Jamaica, Queens. By the time we got over to the other train to transfer, it pulled off, so we had to wait for a minute. But eventually we ended up getting there, got off at Westbury, took an Uber over there, and got the royal treatment, so to speak. We sat courtside. The atmosphere in there was electric. Actually, it was louder than the Barclays Center, surprisingly, but the crowd was into it. The Long Island Nets are doing really well. They knocked off the Motor City Cruise, who was the number 1 team in the G League right now. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there. But definitely, we was a Who's in the House. They put us on the jumbo screen, the Jumbotron, and we just had a great time. And like I said, they ended up pulling out the victory. So it was great to be there. And really, in terms, just be able to support them after, they was there supporting us Saturday. So that turnaround was great. And, we was in there decked out in our Long Island gear. So it was great. And the night before, they decked out in NetsGC gear. So it's just a real family. And that's why I love it. Like I said, I love Brooklyn. I love growth properties. And I just like everything we're doing over here.
Yeah, no, I got to experience it all in a quick 5-day period. I am so genuinely excited for the new guys to come in a market and get to experience that for themselves. Before we sign off here, Kurt, just talk a little bit about what's next, right? Like it's the draft day is weird because it's both the end of a grueling process, but also the beginning of the next process, that being the start of season 5. So what's next for you? What's next for the team?
A lot of people may not really, they don't always understand this. I know in our community, we think drafts, we just think talent, we think players, but from the logistics side of it, starting to get all the players' information, travel information, making sure they, get here. Also taking care of, groceries and, different accommodations for them so they can come to New York and feel comfortable. At the same time, starting to get schedules down, jerseys and stuff got to be ordered. Some people making changes to their names here and there, but really just, making sure that they handle their affairs back home, do what they need to do. Really want them chilling. I know Steve's has been on the game forever, and Doc is training for, the My Team tournament, but I really want them to relax, enjoy time with their family, and then come to New York and be with their other family. And, we're going to be doing a lot of things this year, a lot of things, with different mandates by the league. And I think it's going to be allow us to be able to do more, be out in the public more, and, be in the community. And those are the things that I'm looking forward to. The game, it'll take care of itself. I've been managing the same way for now, just with some little tweaks here and there for 4 years, and I don't plan on changing that. I'm a firm believer in work and rest balance, and it's not 2K every day. So I really can't wait for them to get here and enjoy the city. Let's learn each other and grow together, and let's see what we can do. I think we got some. I think we got some good pieces. I've never been a talker. I've never, I read what everybody puts out about NetsGC, but I just believe the proof is, when the game starts. I mean, so I'm gonna stick to that and just focus on my team, my organization, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
You said something very similar to that near the beginning of season 4, and it ended up with an appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals. So this exact kind of expectations you're setting, I'm all here for it, but that does it here for us on episode 20. We've done 20 of these off the court with OG. We want to thank each and every single person who's kind of stuck with us along every step of the way. By the time we have another episode of this, the team will probably, yes, they'll be in market. We can't wait. Kurt has already kind of touched on it. We can't wait for you guys to see the content and all the plans that we have set out for season 5. On behalf of OG King CURT, NetsGC General Manager and Head Coach, I'm Kristian Cuaresma. Thank you for being part of the crew. And this was Off the Court with OG.